You're going to see three types of factoring on the SOL. Type 1 here, that's GCF. You can tell this type usually because it doesn't have this quadratic form down here, x squared, x, and then a number. But it does have like an x and a y usually, or some type of other weird variable combination, but they'll say factor it completely or find the GCF. So we've got 4, 8, and 16, and you notice those are all divisible by 4, so we're going to take that out. And then once we take that out, we're undistributing it, so 4 times 1 would make that 4. 4 times negative 2y would make that negative 8y, and 4 times another 4x would make the 16x. So there you go, that's GCF factoring. The next type of factoring would be our quadratic. That's our x. So what you do on this one is you take your, let me draw that just a little bit better. Hold on. So you take your first and your last, that's a times c, and you multiply them together. You take your b, you put that in the bottom, and we need to find two things that multiply to the top but add to the bottom. So two things that multiply to 22 but add to 21. So right away I'm thinking 22 and 1 as long as I put the negative in the right spot. So if I put it with the smaller number, it will cancel out and subtract and say 22 minus 1, which is 21. But 22 times negative 1 is still negative 22. Alright. So we did all that work for these numbers right here because we're replacing that middle term with them. So 2x squared is going to stay, but 21x is now 22x minus 1x, and then we've got that negative 11 at the end. From there, we're factor by grouping, so we got to figure out what these have in common. 2x squared and 22x, they both have a 2 that they're divisible by, and they both have an x in them. So when I pull out that 2x, I just have an x left and an 11 left of that second term. If it leads with a negative, make sure you pull that negative out right away. And 1 and 11 only. Alright, we're going to keep going here. I'm not sure where I got cut off there, but make sure if you have a negative here, you bring it out. And then 1 and 11 don't have anything in common, but everything has a 1 in common. You can divide anything by 1. So that's what we're going to pull out. So negative 1x divided by negative 1 is a positive x. Negative 11 divided by, and then negative 11 divided by negative 1 is positive 11. Again, sorry, I keep getting interrupted. I hope I'm not repeating the same things over and over again for you. Alright, we've got all our answers here. You just need to write it properly. We've got 2x and negative 1. That's the outside, so this part and this part go together. And then x plus 11, that inside part also goes together. So those are your two factors, or what we call those. Alright, type 3 type of factoring is right here, x squared minus 25. So we've got something that's x times x and something that's 5 times 5. We call those perfect squares when the same thing multiplies to those. And all we do is we add and subtract the same thing. So x plus 5, x minus 5. Again, that's called difference of squares. I'm going to leave all of these for you to do on your own, but I'm going to hint on number 51 that you remember to look for a GCF first. So this is factor completely, so make sure you figure out what goes into all of those before you get started and pull it out from the start.